Good day, YouTube. Welcome to Football Index Videos 5 for short. I thought it would be witty, probably not anyway. But thank you guys for joining me today. I do apologize for the sort of lack of videos over the last week or so, but it's been some turbulent times for me, and I'm trying to kind of reshuffle and rejiggle my work-life balance at the moment. And until that's completed, there might be some sort of gaps in the releases of the videos, and I do apologize for that in advance. But saying that, it's been a little while, and I thought I'd release a video today just to give you guys a little bit of an update on my portfolio. As you may already know, if you've been following me for a while, I like to be quite transparent. Like to show you guys where I'm at, what I'm up to, what I'm looking at, and that kind of stuff, and give you a kind of rough idea on how I'm managing my portfolio in particular. Now, saying that, we did have a April 2020 recap from Football Index, which I will be going over briefly. Shout out to the guys at Football Index for releasing that on their news forum every single month. So shout out to them for that. But saying that, I just wanted to start off by I might have to spin off and do an actual video based on the topic of selling players, because I think it's not really talked about enough. People have to kind of understand the repercussions of what they're actually doing when they go out buying these players, because your money can get tied up to a certain point. And I don't think people a lot of people might actually understand the gravity of what that might mean to them, especially if you're trading with money you shouldn't be trading with, or money that potentially could be doing something else for you, or money where you kind of don't have it to kind of put into the index, knowing that a lot of what goes on the index is a buy and hold kind of system. So when you kind of have that money tied up, especially with this period of time when the spreads are so wide apart, what would then happen is you could potentially say you had a grand today and you went on buying players, and say you have issues at home at the moment with the corona going on and whatnot. You maybe can't meet some of the rent payment, or maybe even feed your family. And then what would happen is you try to sell the player. Say for instance, it did go, the player you bought happened to have gone up maybe 20p. Guess what? You'd made a profit. But the problem with that is going to sell that player might turn out to be a disastrous move, especially in a time like this, because you got the huge spread. So that 20p gain you might have paid, sorry, you might have gained in the capital appreciation of that player that you bought, might all of a sudden now go to paying for commissions of the 2% commission of a sale of a player, as well as well as the fact that you could potentially not sell that player at the right price, that they're meant to be valued at, with regards to the market, because of the huge gap in the spreads currently, which is man-made. So it's a very difficult one to get into, because I don't have a lot of experience selling on the platform. To be honest with you, I find it really quite unusual to, I wouldn't say unusual because the platform's fairly new. We still know it's in a fifth year. So to expect stuff I put up for sale to go for sale straight away, and someone then bids on that straight away, is maybe a little bit too much to ask for, because of the fact that I trade the currency markets and I've kind of seen orders flowing in and out so regularly. You kind of forget the fact that not everyone's going to be buying a Pogba. Not everyone's going to be buying some of these big names out there, Aubameyang, or do you know what I mean, like Kevin De Bruyne. No one, not everyone's going to be buying those names. And yes, those actual players might be very liquid and have a lot of people trading on them on any given day. The rest of the market's going to be so vast and different from that point, right? There's going to be players who literally have one or two people trade on them daily. Now, that would then account for situations like this, where I put a lot of these players up for sale, the ones you can see on my screen right now. I think I had about seven. I'm down to about six or five now. But I put a lot of these players up for sale 2 days prior to the end of the promotion, of the trade-in bonus of up to £1,500, which ended late last month. That I put that 2 days prior to that. Now, you'd expect a lot of these players, maybe not straight away, but Granit Xhaka, these aren't the most horrific names on the platforms. These are not guys we don't know about. A lot of these guys play in the league, and there's still no liquidity for that. Now, this is not a criticism of the platform. We all know the platform's new. We all know they're doing a great job and fantastic job, and I do give a shout out to them over at the Football Index team. Amazing job what they've done so far. But what I'm trying to get across is the fact that people have to realize what they're getting themselves into prior to selling or buying these players. You have to know that your money will get tied up, especially during this COVID-19 situation we have ourselves in. You're not going to be able to sell a lot of these players as quickly as you wanted to. Even if the ones with some of the bigger names, you still might not be able to sell them as quick as you wanted to. Um, I don't know what the I suppose they do provide liquidity I mean the FI team at this point do provide some liquidity with the arrangement of you being able to sell a player with the instant sale, but that's currently disabled, so they're not providing liquidity at this point. That's about the face of the liquidity that I understand of the market, and that's completely out of question right now. I don't know if it's still inactive. It was inactive last time I checked. Pardon me. Last time I checked and tried to sell one of these players, the instant sell button was disabled. So is Football Index providing liquidity at that point? I would probably say no, because that's the only way they provide liquidity is through the instant sale. Now, it's just a little bit of a not a rant. It's more to just a clarification that people kind of understand, and I hope a lot of people haven't been stuck in trades and not being able to get rid of the players that they've bought because of the fact that they're going to be losing out on a lot more than they would if they were to sell them at normal market conditions. Now, hopefully that's not affected anyone's life externally outside of the index, but I would presume that that would potentially happen to a few people because of the fact that they don't understand the rules behind a lot of these things in place at the moment. So it's just a little bit of a understanding just to make sure people do kind of understand that, because it kind of still is still all new to me, and yeah, it's just what it is. Unfortunately, the platform's very new, so you're going to find it difficult to see a lot of these players go straight away. And I've held some of these players for over a week now. I didn't actually realize you could hold. You can actually have offers on here that stay out on offer for well over a week. I did not know that. So this is new to me. And I'm not criticizing, like I said. I'm pretty sure when the spreads are readjusted and football's back on, then we should see a little bit more liquidity. Now, the liquidity we see, whether it's going to be on the long side or the short side, is beyond me at this point. And I'm not saying every one on the index is going to be the same, but I can presume because of the fact that if you think of what's going on the index right now, is you're getting a lot of new users come through, a lot of old new users on the platform continuously buy up the market on the index, and when they keep buying up the market, and you kind of there's a lot of demand with not a lot of selling going on. That's how I look at it, right? So there's barely any selling going on right now. I don't think there is a lot of selling going on because of these little restrictions here and there. Now, what happens when the market returns back to normal? That is a massive, massive question at this point. This is a very, very, if you have any suggestions regarding this, please do let me know. But I would really like to hear some views from certain people on how they think the market will react and behave to the return of football, the return of the normal marketplace that we were used to on Football Index prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. And when we get that return, how is that return going to be? Is it going to be a positive return or effect on the index, or a negative return on the index? And what I mean by that is because of that pent up buying, consistent buying and buying and buying, and people are just buying because at this point they can't sell. So all you can do is buy, right? So you keep looking for value and buying, and these valued players apparently then leave a point where they're considered valued players at the point, the price point they're in, and they enter this point of the Jadon Sanchos, maybe, for instance. What happens to those kind of players, right? Those players that at one point prior to the football hitting, they were sat at 15, sorry, £4 or something, and then before the football restarts, they hit a £15 mark. Would that be sustainable? Would that be because everyone saw value in them, that's why they're buying them? Or would that be because at this point, people bought him because there was no one else to buy, there was value in them at that point, but it's now he's at overvalued prices, the football's restarted, first half of his game hasn't gone well. What's going to happen to a price like that? Are we then going to instantly lose value because all of a sudden the pent up selling that's accumulated over time with no one selling any players? What happens? What happens? I do not know. I mean, I might be talking up my arse at the moment, but this is as far as I understand the market. I'm just trying to put two and two together here and see if I can make any real sense of it, to be honest. I do still have high hopes for the index. Genuinely, I'm all in at this point, mate. I can put a lot more money into this, eventually. So I'm all in. I do believe in the platform. I'm just trying to raise some concerns that might elude people who don't quite understand how the trading structure works and how bids and offers work in general. So, I mean, maybe I don't fully understand it to the point I should. If you understand it a little bit more than I do, and you kind of have a different view or perspective to what it is I'm talking about here, please do leave me a comment, and I'll be sure to respond to you. Saying that, I'm just gonna breeze through a little bit. I've been blabbering on about that for a little while. I'm just gonna breeze through and show you guys my portfolio real quick. Actually, before we do that, I just wanted to show you the dividend winners from the a last month's, and from here, kind of just to follow up on the dividend buying theme that I was going with a couple months ago. And I just wanted to let you guys know that on this list, I currently have Messi, Ronaldo, and Igalo. So I've got three out of the list, right? And to be honest with you, Harry Kane would have so far probably made it onto my portfolio if I'd actually known his original age. I didn't. I thought Harry Kane was a lot older than he was. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was borderline 30 years old, and I was absolutely shocked to find out Harry Kane's real age. To me, Harry Kane's real age plays a real conundrum in my head when it comes to I because of his age and where I now know his age is. I see a lot of value in Harry Kane, because there's a lot of factors that goes into this. The English stuff, the potential of a move from Tottenham. I don't see that happening this year, but I could see a potential of him moving away from Tottenham next season, potentially even staying in the country and going to someone like United, Old Trafford, or Manchester City. But with that said, he's been a great striker ever since he kind of broke through all those seasons ago. And Harry Kane has been exceptional, really. Apart from the knocks here and there that he gets with his injuries, he's been pretty prolific, right? He's a striker that knows where the back of the net is, and he's very loved by the index. As you can see, he's second place currently. I think that's a lot to do with the speculations of a move away from Tottenham. But we don't know how far that's going to go. But in any case, if I was to say, okay, you're allowed to hold players for 3 years or so, do I see Harry Kane at value at whatever price he was trading at? I think he was currently at the time of me looking at this, he was below £7 or just thereabouts. Do I see him then going on to say maybe win a trophy for England in the Euros, get them far in the Euros, maybe get some points, get some media dividends in the Euros, and then kick on from there to maybe move on from Tottenham to maybe even go to a club that gets him a little bit more goals, potentially win a golden boot, and even potentially win a major trophy with a move away from Tottenham. So when you look at it that way, and you look at his age, and you look at what Harry Kane actually, the name has a lot of weight in England, right? The name Harry Kane has quite a lot of weight in England, and when you look at all that, you kind of have to put him on the list. So I think he's next on my line with regards to the next dividend buyout. And also, when you, like I mentioned in previous videos, when it comes to themed buying, you kind of have to look at other factors that could potentially happen, right? I mean, why am I not going for Wayne Rooney in this list? Because he's kind of on his last legs. He's not a United player. He's somewhere else. I actually don't know what team now, to be honest. I think it's West Ham. I don't know, actually. Don't quote me on that. But the point I'm trying to make is, if I'm going to buy a dividend payer, due to the five dividend uh, placeholders that we currently have as a promotion, and we know this is running for the foreseeable future. Yes, I want to own guys who can win dividends like a Paul Pogba, but guess what? I don't want to own a Paul Pogba right now because I don't know where his future is, right? So he's a huge dividend payer on this, right? But for me, I would buy a Harry Kane, a Neymar, even a Rashford before I looked at a Pogba as a dividend winner because his future is uncertain at this point, unless he's going as a dividend winner as well as a potential for a transfer move, and obviously with the bump up in the capital appreciation on his price. So saying that, what I'm trying to get at is you. I'm buying Harry Kane knowing that or believing that in a year or so, Harry Kane might be in a different club. Even if he's still at Tottenham, Tottenham might have a better team, potentially go on to win a Golden Boot because he's right up there when it comes to scoring goals every season. Most seasons he's been there since he's been at the top. So you can kind of see how it's a win-win for me. I go through my five uh, place five dividend place holders promotion period like we are now, and then straight after that I'll be kicking into the restart of the season. And with regards to any changes that FI might throw at me, I will probably be well provisioned with regards to my portfolio to kind of balance out whatever might happen as a repercussion of the eradication of those media placeholders. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Hopefully it really does. But yeah, that's mainly what I was going to talk about. As you can see here, portfolio is currently set at 1121.11. That's what the value's at. The cost is at 129.16. So currently 805 down, but you can see the all times looking pretty sweet because of we took quite a huge chunk of this. I think about £80 or so of that came from the utilization of the last promotional offer that just got paid out to everyone quite recently. That's the £1,500 bonus net buys minus your net sales. So that's all that's happened so far. Not a lot else. I've kind of topped up on a lot of these players. But at the same time, I do have a lot of players on my watch list that are still under scrutiny. So I'm gonna have to do some research and try and get my portfolio to kind of roughly where I want it to be. I think I roughly have around 36 or 37 players right now, with about five or six for sale. Now, I feel like I would be all right with managing a portfolio of about 50 players. Now, it might seem a lot to a lot of people, but I wouldn't say it's a lot based on on the kind of idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. Because I'm using sort of a bunch of different strategies that I'm kind of grouping into one. Like I've got a few of the rising stars, a few of the well-known names. I'm taking part in the dividend play, so there's a little bit of different plays here, and hopefully that can kind of mash up to a nice recipe for success in the near future. But unfortunately, we wouldn't know that until that end of year P&L results are released. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbering on now. It's been a little while, and yeah, I'll try and when I understand a little bit more and I've gained a little bit more experience with the platform, I might look to speak to FI and get some more information as to how the setup of these sell orders are taking place, because it's quite, and the platforms to me seems a little bit, it seems big enough to have a lot of these players being looked at least once a week. I mean, am I asking a bit too much here? Should a lot of these players not be bought maybe once a week or sold once I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, um, we'll see how that goes. If you have any information, or any thoughts regarding anything I've shared with you guys today or in my previous videos, please do let me know, and I will be sure to get back to you guys. Thank you so much for your support so far. I really appreciate your help, and thanks for viewing my content. Have a brilliant evening, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.